मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लांघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरम् सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we are hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter number 12. Jadabharat is giving reply to Rahugana's question that he has not understood properly what is the duty, real duty and the customary duty. He has not understood, and therefore he requested Jadabharat to explain in detail. So Jadabharat is replying that whatever we see in this material world, everything is nothing but transformation of earth. They are only different by name, but the root of everything is earth only. So in one sense, you see that the transformation going on in various living entities, it is nothing but the transformation of earth. Because the living entities are taking birth and dying, we are seeing that there is transformation in them, but it's actually ultimately the transformation of earth only. So in this manner, Bharat has explained that how the living entities are nothing but matter, or sorry, the like a mud, an example of mud, and if one has to know the properties of, if one has known the properties of mud, then all the items that are prepared out of mud are automatically known. So Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the purport concludes, this is from Chandogya Upanishad. It says that just like all the items prepared with the mud are understood simply by knowing the root of all these items, that is mud, in a similar manner, absolute truth is the origin of everything. From the absolute reality, everything is coming. By knowing that absolute reality, everything else is automatically known. Nothing else remains to be known for a person who has knowledge of the absolute. Now we will continue from verse number 9. Evang niruktam kshiti shabda vrittam asannidhanat paramanavo ye avidyaya manasa kalpitaste घेशांग समूहेन कृतो विशेषः ताहा होइले पृथ्वीर सत्यता होइते पारे. So you are telling that all the objects, the living entities, moving or non-moving, the matter, everything is nothing but transformation of earth. Therefore their existence, the existence of all these objects is only because of the presence of earth, which means they are all temporary. So does it mean that the earth is permanent? Because everything is transformed from the earth, does it mean that the earth is permanent? क्षिति शब्द वाच्य जावतीय पार्थिव वस्तु नाम मात्र सत्य होइलेउ मिथ्या बोलियाई निरूपित है. The answer is no. Even the earth is not permanent. It seems to be real, but actually it is also temporary. It is also not permanent. जेहेतु ताहा अति सूक्ष्म परमाणुते लय होइया थाके, because the entire earth gets unmanifest into an atomic particle. Everything becomes unmanifest into a small atomic particle. So, if you say everything moving and non-moving is a transformation of earth, therefore they are not permanent, the question may arise, then earth must be permanent. The answer is no, even earth is not permanent because it also becomes unmanifest into an atomic particle. Abar पृथ्वीर कारण परमाणु सकलो नित्य न है. Now if one may say, oh, then that atomic particle must be permanent, into which all the earth is getting unmanifest, that atomic particle must be permanent. The answer is no, even that is also not permanent. कार्जेर अनुपपत्ति হয় বলিয়া বাদিগণ अज्ञतावशतः মনের দ্বারা ওই সকল পরমাণু কল্পনা করিয়াছেন. Actually, in order to see the where has earth manifested from, where will it go, in order to come to one kind of a conclusive answer, the philosophers have formulated this atomic particle. You see, just like the scientists, they are inventing newer theories. Now nobody knows, it means those who don't follow scriptures, or generally people don't know where evolution has started from, where humans have come from. Then there was one scientist, Mr. Darwin, he told that there is an evolution theory, from this it has started. So it was just his speculation, because there was no conclusive evidence as to where everyone is coming from materially, and people do not want to follow the scriptures. They are averse to scriptures. Scriptures, it is told, yato va imani bhutani jayante, everything is emanating from me, but they don't want to believe it. So they have to formulate or postulate some philosophy. That's why, in a similar manner, there is a Big Bang theory also. There is a black hole from where everything is created, the theory of black hole object. There are so many theories that are postulated. If you go on Google search, you find how is the universe created, how has evolution started. You will find innumerable theories and postulations by different philosophers, different scientists. Now, because there is no any conclusive answer from anybody, the philosophers have postulated or formalized something called an atomic particle. They say that from atomic particle there are like electrons, protons, neutrons, all these things. There is a there is a fusion among these things, and then suddenly there is a big creation that has happened. All these theories, they have come into existence, and at the time of dissolution everything gets back into the atomic energy. So this is not the modern day scientists that have postulated. Even the philosophers of the past, of the Vaisheshika Jnana, Karma Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa, there are so many theories that have been postulated by the previous philosophers, the great, and those are such philosophers who believed in scriptures, not like modern day philosophers who don't believe in scriptures. They have formulated something based upon the writings of Vedavyasa Muni, of the Vedas, in the way they have understood. But the modern day philosophers, they don't even follow the scriptures. Yeah, they are mythology. And they think, the modern day scientists, they think that we have postulated this. But if you see, it is already there in the scriptures. Some Jaimini or some other rishi would have already, postulated such theories somewhere. So the thing is that many philosophers, they have, assumed an existence of a paramanu, an atomic particle, because ultimately they have to show how it has come into existence, where it has come into existence from. For that reason, they said, through their mind, they have formulated this theory that everything is emanating from paramanu, from atomic particle. But even this atomic particle is also not permanent. Ataiva paramanu samashti rachito ghata ghatadiyu nitya nahe. So even if we have to accept that this paramanu or the atomic particle is the cause of earth, even that atomic particle is also not permanent. Even that is also temporary. So Bharat is telling that all the transformations that we see in this material world, they are not actually transformations of individual bodies, but they are transformations of earth only. So one may come to a conclusion that these individual bodies are existing only by name, but they are not permanent. But earth must be permanent. Bharat is telling, no, even earth is also not permanent. Because earth is, at the time of unmanifestation, the unmanifested earth enters into an atomic particle. So earth is nothing but a transformation of this atomic particle. Now then one may say, oh, then this atomic particle must be permanent. It must be an eternal object. Then Bharat is telling, no, even this atomic particle is not a permanent object. It is also customary. It's also assumed for a particular purpose. You see, certain times, if you have to give some kind of a conclusion, you have to assume something in the first place. You have to assume, there is an assumption. If you watch the evolution theory of Darwin or anyone, or Darwin only principally, there is an assumption that there was a kind of a creature existing in the very beginning. Now, where that creature has come from, even Darwin has no answer. But he will say, assume that it started from there and slowly it evolved to this, then to this, then to this, then to this, like this. Now, whether the egg is first or the hen is first, is the animal first or the egg first? He has assumed something through this process, egg must be first or the animal must be first. Now, there is an assumption involved in the first place. That is what I wanted to tell, that even for the scientists to postulate something, there is an assumption that egg is first or this particular living being is first, and from there it came, and then slowly it evolved genetically. There was an evolution, and then this happened, this happened, this happened. But now, if the assumption itself is wrong, then entire theory is wrong, isn't it? Your foundation itself is based on air. It is on the air. Like you build castle, right, with the cards. Did you play when you were a child? You are building castles like this, and yes, one small air, blow of air, finish, everything finished. And also, not like that, not even blow of air, but if some disbalance somewhere will collapse everything, because the foundation is not strong. So, the philosophers, they have postulated that atomic particle is the cause of earth, but that atomic particle itself is not permanent. This is what Bharat is telling. I am not going through the purport because it is almost the same. The purport is almost the same, there is no difference. Evam krishang sthulam anur brihad ya dasatcha sajjivam ajivamanyat dravya svabhavashaya kalakarman namna जयावेहि कृतं द्वितीयम. यही प्रकार पृथ्वी न्याय अन्न वस्तुतेव स्थूल, कृश, क्षुद्र, बृहद, कार्य, कारण, चेतन, अचेतन प्रवृत्ति भेद कल्पित है. So, earth is one such element that we have talked about so far. Everything is transformation of earth, living and non-moving and non-moving. The moving creatures have hands, legs, shoulders, etc. On the top of the shoulders, they are carrying palanquin. That is also transformation of earth. Those who are carrying the palanquin, they are called the palanquin carriers. That which is being carried is called the palanquin. Person who is sitting in the palanquin is called the rider of the palanquin. So they are different by name only, but they are nothing but transformation of earth. But that earth itself means there is no actual existence of all these persons. In the root there is earth only. Then he proved that even earth is not permanent because it is unmanifesting into atomic particle. Then he said that even atomic particle is also not permanent because that is just an assumption by the philosophers to explain the creation process. That's an assumption. Therefore, even that is also not permanent. Now, in the next verse, he is telling that just like earth, there are also several other matters in this world that are subtle, gross, big, small, cause, effect, conscious, unconscious. In this manner, there are several objects. Earth is one such element. There are several other elements like Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha, Ahankar, Miti, Yamme, Bhinna. There are several elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. There are so many things, not just earth. So, he is telling that just like earth, there are many other elements that are gross and subtle, big and small, cause and effect, not end, big, small, subtle, gross, cause, effect, conscious, unconscious. In this manner, there are several other objects that have been imagined by these philosophers. ताहा द्रव्य स्वभाव आशय काल or karma name prasiddha, and they have different names. They are called as ingredients. They are different by nature. They are a source of something. Time, karma, action. So these are several other things that they are named as. Means there are different names. There are different objects and there are different names other than earth. मायार द्वारा ही इहा होइया थाके जानिबेन. And understand, my dear Rahugana, that all these things are also coming into existence through Maya, through the illusory energy only. Means whatever objects we are seeing, none of them have the real existence. Maya means, the meaning of Maya is not illusion per se. The meaning here is that all of them have illusory existence only. They don't have a permanent existence. None of these objects are permanent. Like the time, karma, nature, material, the source, all these things are only existing by illusion only. Means they have not a permanent existence. All of them have a temporary existence. So far, Bharat has explained about everything is temporary. Whatever we see is temporary. The relations among the king and his subjects is also temporary. The existence of various natures is also temporary. Everything is temporary. Then what is permanent? That is being explained in the next verse. Jnanam vishuddham paramartham ekam anantarantva bahir brahma satyam pratyak prashantam bhagavat shabda sangyam yad vasudevam karayo vadanti. ताहा होइले सत्य की. Then what is truth? If everything is false, everything is temporary, what is truth? What is that which is existing? तदुत्तरे बोलते चैन अद्वय ज्ञान ही सत्य. The non-dual knowledge is the actual truth. Non-dual knowledge is the actual truth. Se Gyan Vishuddha. That knowledge is pure. Pure means beyond the three modes of material nature, because three modes of material nature are again impermanent. Maya, three modes of material nature, it's also impermanent. Therefore, this Advaya Jnana, non-dual knowledge, is beyond the three modes of material nature. It is eternal. The thing is, that which is within the three modes of material nature is all temporary. The existence of a temporary object indicates there must be a presence of a permanent thing also. You have to understand this. The absence of negative indicates that there is a presence of positive also. Absence of light indicates that there is light. When you are saying light is absent, which means light is present also. Do you understand?
Just I cannot see.
Yes. Like I was saying that money is not there, money is not here. It means that money object is elsewhere but it is not here. Try to understand the words. Money is not there means money is not here means it is not here, but the object called as money is present somewhere. Light is not there. In my room there is no light. It means there is existence of light, but that light does not exist in my room. It does not deny the existence of light totally. Are you getting my point? Yes? It does not deny the existence of light totally. Because it is not there in my room does not mean there is no light. It is not there in my room, but it is there elsewhere. In a similar manner, when you say this world is not permanent, it means that there is something called permanent, but this world is not. This is just a word jugglery, you try to understand. Are you able to explain in Russian language? Yes? Okay. So, this world is not permanent. What it means? It means that there is something called permanent, there is something permanent, but this world is not that permanent. What is that permanent? The absence of something indicates also its presence elsewhere. Just like I gave an example, I have my mobile, but I am not finding in my room. When I say mobile is not there, it doesn't mean that I have no mobile. I have mobile, but it is not there in my room. I have to search it elsewhere to find that mobile. The existence of mobile is true. I have a mobile, that is true. But it is not there in my room does not mean my mobile is not there. It must be there elsewhere. In a similar manner, this material world, earth and all these things are not permanent. It itself indicates that there is something that must be permanent. Isn't it? Absence of happiness indicates that there must also be happiness. Only then you will say, right? A person is happy, a person is unhappy. Now, how can you say a person is happy or unhappy? Because both happiness and unhappiness are existing, that's why you are able to see. If everyone is unhappy, then there is nothing called as happiness existing in this world. Isn't it? I think it must be clear by now. Okay. Absence, when you say that, when you negate something, it indicates that there is a presence of a positive thing also. That is what I wanted to say. Now, when we say that this material world is not permanent, then what is permanent? Because if there is nothing called as permanent, that should not be there in the dictionary at all. The permanent word should not be there in the dictionary at all. It is there. You are negating permanent thing, means what is permanent? Say Gyan Vishuddha. That knowledge is pure. It is beyond this material world or beyond this non-eternal or temporary world. Paramartha, and that is the giver of the highest welfare. Eka, and that is one, singular. That is not many, that is not dual. Advaya Jnana, non-dual knowledge, is one. Absolute truth is one without a second. There is no one, no two absolute truths possible. There is only one absolute truth possible. Isn't it? When there is, who is leading in the, atomic research in the world, there will only be one country. There will not be three countries leading. There will be 1, 2, 3. Russia first, Japan next, India next. But there cannot be three countries simultaneously the leaders of atomic thing. All three cannot be number one. Number one, only one. In a similar, he is absolute. That absolute cannot be multiple. That absolute must be one. That is why he is called Advitiya. None without himself. One without a second is called Advitiya. There is no competitor. Now, let's say, for example, I don't know who is leader, but I'm just taking example as Russia is the leading in the atomic research. That's not an absolute truth, because tomorrow Japan can become number one, or India can become number one. That's not an absolute truth. It is still relative. Today, as of 2023, Russia is leading. Maybe 2024, Japan will be leading. 2025, America might be leading. So, it is not absolute. Means there is a competitor in this material world. But for that, supreme reality, there is no such competition. That is, he is asamordhva. There is no one equal to him or above him. There is no competitor anywhere close to him. He is the one without a second. Sarva Vyapaka or Nirvikalpa. He is all pervasive and he is the one without any transformation. Okay. And without any option. Like we have, today Russia is there, tomorrow America is there, day after tomorrow. No, there is no option there. He is one and he is going to remain the only one. That's all. That is absolute knowledge. So, the thing is, what is absolute reality? What is permanent? Because you are telling earth is not permanent. The living creatures are not permanent. Earth, which is the cause of them, is not permanent. The Paramanu atomic particle, which is their cause, is not permanent. Then what is permanent? There are also several other objects, they are permanent. No, none of them are permanent. Then what is permanent? Permanent is absolute truth. Ihar dwara, the very word absolute truth indicates that there is no relativity there. In this world, there is relativity. One is happy, that happiness is relative to his suffering. I am happier now. There is a degree, right? Happy, happier, happiest. That is relative in this material world. Good, great, greater, greatest. Relative, sweet, sweeter, sweetest. There is relative. In this material world, everything is relative. But absolute truth, there is no such relative thing there. Absolute means absolute. You cannot, distinguish, till yesterday absolute had no quality, this quality, because this quality has been added to absolute, now he became greater than what he was yesterday. No. Do you understand? I am richer now. After 5 years, I am richer than what I was 5 years before. After 10 years, I am richer than what I was 10 years before. After 20 years, I am poor than what I was 10 years before. But absolute is not like, now he has got more qualities. Over a period of time, he has developed more, like coronavirus has developed some new qualities over a period of time, isn't it? Some newer and newer genetic mutations have happened and it developed newer, qualities. Therefore, corona is more stronger now than previous coronavirus. But Supreme Lord is not like that. He has become stronger now because he got immune to more qualities. Absolute is one. There is no such, that is why it is said, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Means he is complete. If you add infinite to infinite, he will still remain infinite. If you remove infinite from infinite, he will still remain infinite. If you divide infinite with the infinite, still he is infinite. If you multiply infinite with the infinite, he is still the infinite. Means infinite does not change its properties with any of what you call additions or subtractions or mutations. No, that is absolute. Absolute means absolute. That's all. No other definition can define absolute. Yes. इहार द्वारा अद्वै ज्ञानेर प्रथम प्रतीति ब्रह्म लक्षित होइया छे. By this, the first aspect of absolute truth, that is Brahman, has been, said. Because all pervasive, that is one of the aspects of the absolute reality. Now, even though absolute reality is one, he is realized in three different aspects. Now, the first aspect is the Brahman aspect. The Brahman aspect is the all-pervasive aspect. Evam pratyak sarvajiver antare virajaman. And the second aspect is pratyak. Pratyak means he is in the heart of all living entities. That is, and prashanto, kshobha-shunyo, and very peaceful. Peaceful means when the living entity is undergoing transformation, he is not undergoing any transformation. Do you understand? He is living inside everyone, all the living beings. Now, a living being undergoing so many transformations. He is undergoing so many karmic activities, good and bad karmas. But he is present, not touched by any of the activities of the living entity. So that is the Paramatma feature. The second feature of the absolute reality is the Paramatma feature. इहार द्वारा अद्वै ज्ञानेर द्वितीय प्रतीति परमात्मा लक्षित होते छे. Through this, the second aspect or the second feature of the absolute truth is being mentioned, that is the Paramatma feature. Evam sei ज्ञानेर पूर्ण प्रतीतिर नाम भगवान. And there is another feature or aspect of that absolute truth or knowledge, that is Bhagavan. Means the Supreme Lord or a personal feature. One is an all-pervasive feature, other is a localized feature, and the third is a personal feature. Kabhigan tahakei Vasudev bolen. And the experts in scriptural understanding, they call that person as Vasudeva. That Bhagavan is Vasudeva. Tini Brahmer Pratishtha Ashray Paramatmar Anshi Evam Bhaktaganer Upasya Vastu. He is the source of Brahman. From him comes the Paramatma feature, or he is the root of Paramatma, and he is the one who is worshipped by the devotees. Okay, so this is the translation to the 11th verse. So wherein, what is the permanent truth? All that we see, the earth, other material elements, big, small, subtle, gross, whatever we see, they are all, relative truths, impermanent or deformable with time, whereas there is one permanent truth, that is undivided knowledge. That undivided knowledge is understood as Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. Okay? We will go through the purport tomorrow. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय. परमाराध्यतम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. नित्य लीला प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद परमहंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति दयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। जय चातुर्मास्य व्रत पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।